Kyrsten Sinema is one of the most, if not the most, corrupt member of the Senate. And now she just got herself a little bit of a challenge from the left. So this guy, Ruben Gallego, is currently a congressman from Arizona. Now he's going to run for U.S. Senate, trying to take Kyrsten Sinema's seat. I got to be honest with you guys, it's looking good for him. There were polls that came out, Kyrsten Sinema versus Gallego. Gallego smokes her, just obliterates her. I'm talking over 70% of the vote. Now, why is that? Because Kyrsten Sinema is a Republican, right? Like, she's basically a Republican. And so if you want to run the Democratic primary, well, ain't going to work out too well for you. So Gallego goes on MSNBC and he previews, his line of attack here against Sinema. And I have to say, it's pretty good. It is a solid, substantive attack from the left. Let's listen.
Would you be running for this seat now if Senator Sinema had conducted herself differently in the last few years in the Senate?
No. No, look.
What was the breaking point for you in terms of her time in the Senate?
There wasn't any particular that was a breaking point, and I've always been a big supporter of Senator Sinema. I supported her in all of her races, raised her money. I had canvases going for her when she ran for Senate. I think when I finally, just hit my point is when I realized that she was no longer working for the people of Arizona. When we found out that she was negotiating for the pharmaceutical companies to reduce the pharmaceutical competition bill to make it more expensive for our seniors to pay for their drugs.
Okay, so let me just comment on that here for a second. There was reporting that she took at least $500,000 from Big Pharma at the exact time they were talking about lowering prescription drug prices. Then, wow, lo and behold, even though she previously campaigned on lowering drug prices, she does a 180 and she's like, actually, I don't think we should lower drug prices. Well, gee, I wonder why. Could it be because you just got, at minimum, $500,000 from Big Pharma? No, couldn't be that. Couldn't be that, right? So he said, look, I wasn't going to run, but then I looked at this, I saw how she was acting, I saw what was going on, and I was like, I got no choice. I got to run. This person's a hack. This person's a total corrupt sellout.
Really was a sticking point for me. When she was helping hedge fund managers and private equity managers make sure they have their little tax cutout, that really was a sticking point for me. When she used an excuse to vote against a minimum wage, $15 an hour minimum wage, that was another motion that really made me make a decision. So really, it's death by 1,000 cuts. But all that really is, if you wrap it all together, it's the fact that also that she doesn't even communicate to the voters of Arizona. When I go and talk to people in Arizona, they don't hear from Kyrsten. They don't know what her motivation is anymore. They don't trust her anymore because she doesn't talk to the voters of Arizona. She does not have an unscripted moment in Arizona with any voters. If you want to meet with her, you have to put a fundraiser together, and it better be a high-dollar fundraiser. That's not what this government is about. That's not what representative government is about. And certainly that's not what being a senator is about.
Damn, he's Draxing her, bro. She's on the ground. She's bleeding. She's in trouble. I mean, all those lines of attack are brutal, and they're 100% accurate. The thing about hedge funds, look, I got something for you right here. There's more perfect union. Sinema's private equity donations keep flowing after saving tax loophole. Sinema has received at least $526,000 from donors in the private equity, hedge fund, and venture capital industries after killing proposed taxes last year. So there's a tax that was specifically going to hit these ghouls, private equity, hedge funds, and venture capital. And she was like, hey, you pay me, I'll axe that. And then we won't have the votes. Democrats won't have the votes. And that's what she did. The idea that anything that she's doing is ideological is laughable. She is for sale. She is for sale. She represents whoever pays her. To his point, she hasn't held a town hall with her constituents, but she does these big money fundraisers all the time. There's that famous moment he alluded to. This was when everybody was done with Kyrsten Sinema at this point, when they were voting on the $15 minimum wage, and she goes up there and does her little tee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee, be a wage slave, tee-hee-hee, live a life of misery as you work really hard, tee-hee-hee. Get out of here. Get out of here. Just so corrupt. And by the way, it actually occurred to me, it didn't even occur to me at the time, it occurred to me now. You know why she did the whole, I'm going to do the thumbs down thing? Remember, guys, That's exactly what John McCain did when he saved Obamacare. Remember that? There was a vote to repeal Obamacare. If John McCain voted, I think it would have been a wrap. Obamacare would have been axed. McCain goes up there and goes like this. Votes it down because he had beef with Trump. I don't think McCain did it for any principled reason. I just think he hated Trump and Trump hated him. And so this was his payback, right? Oh, you want to get rid of Obamacare? What if I block that, son? So that was him. That was his maverick moment. It was an actual good moment for McCain. Now, of course, he's a warmonger. He's terrible in 1,000 ways. But on that specific issue, it was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Well, Obamacare is bad enough as it is. It'd be way worse if we went to before Obamacare. At least Obamacare had some rules in it, right? That made the healthcare industry or health insurance industry have to be a little bit more responsible. That was his maverick moment. So she thought this was her maverick moment. I'm just going to copy John McCain and what he did. But my whole thing is killing higher wages? Now, to be fair, I think the vote failed. There were like 6 or 8 Democrats or something that voted against it. So even if she voted the right way, it wouldn't have gone through. But it's still, what does it say? What does it say? She didn't even give the fake virtue signaling of like, actually, I support this thing and it's the other's fault. No, she wanted to be the bad guy because she thought, I'm going to be just like John McCain. I'm going to be a maverick and I'm going to hold the seat forever in Arizona because they're going to say, just like John McCain was a slightly more liberal Republican, Kyrsten Sinema is a conservative Democrat, and that's what we like. Now, nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. In a 3-way race between Kari Lake, Ruben Gallego, and Kyrsten Sinema, Kyrsten finishes in a distant 3rd place. And by the way, if she does run, she serves as a spoiler and Kari Lake wins. It's only by a point, but Kari Lake would win. So she could spoil the whole thing, all because somebody actually wants to improve some stuff. Now, Gallego has other problems that we could talk about. Like, for example, the progressives have been pushing, let's cut the military budget 10%. It's the right thing to do. This is out of control. We got to reel this in a little bit. Now, I would want, honestly, 50%. That's how egregious our military spending is, how bloated the budget is, how insane it is. Pentagon can't account for 59% of its funds. That's insane. Trillions of dollars missing. So I would cut it 50%. But you got to be realistic. There ain't nobody else going to go for that. Maybe there's a handful who would vote for that. Ain't going to get. But 10% is reasonable, right? That's in the conversation. Maybe if you're lucky, you get 20%, right? Guy goes against that. Okay. So he's got problems too. He's got issues too. But if you're talking about Kyrsten Sinema or Ruben Gallego, there is no debate. You'd have to have no brain in your head to think there's a debate there. Okay, so I want to also give you, you guys are going to enjoy this. This was his launch video. Shout out to David Dole of the Rational National. He put this up here. Take a look.
Growing up poor, the only thing I really had was the American dream. An opportunity. It's the one thing that we give every American, no matter where they are born in life. It was actually something to believe in and to fight for.
The odds that a single immigrant mom with a Latino boy, statistically, I was never supposed to end up even in college. I slept on a floor and a couch and a roll-on mat. Hearing her cry like every night, being stressed out about how she was going to raise like 4 kids on a secretary's salary, with an absent father.
Fue una experiencia muy dura. Having to step up and be a father figure to my 3 sisters and skipping my teenage years influenced me a lot.
When you're poor, you really need a belief and a hope in a better future.
Rita, you want to make you one?
And what helps to do that is when you have other people believe with you. My family, who didn't laugh at me when I told them I'm going to Harvard. Had teachers, did everything they could to make sure that it was possible. I had a government that believed in kids like me. I really did feel that I owed the country something, and we got sent to Iraq.
Losing all my friends, consistently being shot at, and people trying to blow you up all the time.
You never really fully come back from a war. You're not the same person.
Fighting through PTSD. There were some very low moments in my life, but I still didn't give up hope and pushed forward.
I found a new way to keep serving.
Hey, you're the first group of people that are hearing this, besides my family. I will be challenging Kyrsten Sinema for the United States Senate, and I need all of your support.
Most families feel that they are 1 or 2 paychecks away from going under. That is not the way that we should be living in this country. The rich and the powerful, they don't need more advocates. It's the people that are still trying to decide between groceries and utilities that needs a fighter for them. There is no lobbyist for working families. We could argue different ways about how to do it, But at the core, if you're more likely to be meeting with the powerful than the powerless, you're doing this job incorrectly. I'm sorry that politicians have let you down, but I'm going to change that. I'm Ruben Gallego. I'm running to be the senator of Arizona.
Because you deserve somebody fighting for you and fighting with you every day to make sure you have the same chance al sueño americano.
So he's killing him. He's killing her. It's she has no prayer, to be honest. I mean, the numbers are already so devastating. She's done. She's done. Now, she recently became an independent, so she won't run against him in the primary. By the way, that's one of the reasons why she became an independent. It's like, I know I can't win now in the Democratic primaries. I'll become an independent. But if she runs as an independent and serves as a spoiler, then you may get Senator Carrie Lake or Blake Masters, some other total, complete psychopath. So she may just retire and become a lobbyist, you know? I mean, nobody has sold out more clearly than Kyrsten Sinema has, and so it may be, she might think, hey, it's time for me to get my payoff, dog. So we shall see, but Ruben already is absolutely shredding her. And by the way, this race is all the way in August 2024. We got a long way to go, but he's already shredding her, and I hope he keeps running a solid campaign. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.